Welcome back for part 2 of looking at my collection, Blu-ray collection. Part 1 was more family-friendly stuff, superhero and anime. This is a few last things of family-friendly stuff, mixed combination of other stuff. Part 3 will be strictly TV shows. So with that said, first up, we have the 70th anniversary edition for The Wizard of Oz, an all-time classic in my opinion. Next, we have, of course, Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The first of the two live-action, two modern Goosebumps movies, but I don't have the second one, I only got the first one. Only one that I actually liked. Next, we have a triple feature pack, which has all three original Ninja Turtle movies. Arguably, a lot of people's favorite, my personal favorite, guilty pleasure, and then another guilty pleasure. A all-time classic, The Iron Giant. One of my all-time favorite stop-motion films, Kubo and the Two Strings. An all-time classic loved by many people, Coraline. Then we have the 30th anniversary special edition of Labyrinth, which is actually like an art book and stuff combination with the movie. Also, I got the same thing for the special anniversary edition of The Dark Crystal as well, two all-time classics. Next, we have an interesting triple pack, The Goonies Gremlins 1 and 2. All three, well, the third one is a guilty pleasure, the other two are considered all-time classics. Next, we have a modern special 3-pack, all three Bill and Ted movies. Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a lot better than I expected it would ever be. Also, of adaptations, the cool Detective Pikachu film. The classic, and still in my opinion, in the top 5 best live-action adaptations of video games, Tomb Raider. A very weird film, Yoga Hosers, starring Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, and Harley Quinn Smith, the daughter of course, Kevin Smith. Fighting with My Family, which is a great film I highly recommend to anyone. La La Land, a great modern musical that pays homage to the 1950s style musicals, which I'm a big fan of, and I thought Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone were great in the film. Guilty pleasure film of mine, Tim Burton's take on Dark Shadows, and I loved Johnny Depp as Barnabas Collins. Speaking of Tim Burton, next we have the Tim Burton Collection, which includes Batman, Batman Returns, Beetlejuice, Mars Attacks, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and of course Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Now a little bit more dramatic side, Lincoln from Steven Spielberg, a great film, and for me, one of my easily probably top 2 favorite Daniel Day-Lewis performances. Another great film I highly recommend to anyone, Creed. Easily one of my favorite films of all time, one of my all-time favorite performances from Michael Keaton, the founder. Of course, based on the true story of Crockett, which basically made McDonald's what it would become. Somewhat underrated film I personally really enjoyed, The Eagle. Another film sadly gets overlooked by many people, The Last Legion. The all-time classic and the first Bond film I ever saw, GoldenEye. Skyfall, which I love to death. A film I feel doesn't deserve the dislike it gets. Spectre. Inferno, the last of the Dan Brown adaptations, of course directed by Ron Howard. And an interesting film that was given years back as a gift. Though, on the film myself. Not very good performances, unfortunately. Next up, we're going to more fantasy action films, and then sci-fi, and then the more mature stuff at the end. Next, we have a triple pack. The original classic Clash of the Titans, though I personally actually like the remake more. Wrath of the Titans, which I thought was a great, well-done film. Quality-wise, it's better than Clash of the Titans remake. And the beginning of course, one of my favorite franchises of all time, Pirates of the Caribbean. Curse of the Black Pearl. Dead Man's Chest. At World's End. Stranger Tides, easily the worst of the films. And one I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed. Dead Men Tell No Tales. The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Love this film. I also thoroughly enjoyed the second one, The Mummy Returns. Surprisingly, I enjoyed this more than I was expecting, with Snow White and the Huntsman. Did not care much for the sequel. Another film I thoroughly enjoyed, the Warcraft adaptation. Next we have Double Pack. Oh, oops. In wrong order. First, of course, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Gauntlet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, which is my personal favorite, Half-Blood Prince, The Deadly Hallows Part 1, Deadly Hallows Part 2. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The Crimes of Grindelwald. Lord of the Rings Extended Editions, which to me is the definitive way to watch these films. And I love the fact it actually comes out with the Middle-earth map. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, special version with also art and everything in it. The Desolation of Smaug. Battle of the Five Armies. Now a bit more sci-fi. The classic original Jurassic Park. And the first Jurassic World. Those are the only ones I currently have on Blu-ray. Next, we go to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is great. In my opinion, the best of the three. Of course, War for the Planet of the Apes. Then we have Robert Downey Jr.'s take on Sherlock Holmes. Next, we have a double pack of Hunger Games and Catching Fire. The Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2, which is a great series of movies in my opinion. Also, one of the best Christopher Nolan films, Inception. Next, the reboot to Star Trek Into Darkness, which I liked more than most people. Star Trek Beyond. Bumblebee, the only live-action Transformer film I own. And of course, there's good old John Cena. Terminator Genesis, which I like more than most people. An incredible film involving, of course, James Cameron. Amazing special effects. I love, like, the cyberpunk world it creates, and of course, Alita Battle Angel. An all-time classic, Independence Day. Another great Christopher Nolan film, Interstellar, whatever. Of course, the special extended edition of James Cameron's Avatar, which I actually love this film, honestly. It's a great film, in my opinion. Even if it's been done before, whatever. Of course, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, which I love all the prequels, no matter what. Attack of the Clones. My all-time favorite, Revenge of the Sith. A New Hope. Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. The Force Awakens. The garbage that is The Last Jedi. And if you notice, it's still actually factory sealed. Loved Rogue One. Then we have, of course, the controversial Rise of Skywalker, and I still need to get the Solo film physical. Currently only have it digital. Welcome back for the last part of the last batch for part 2. First, we have Insidious Chapter 3. A miniseries, which I only have season 1 of the miniseries, Mortal Kombat Legacy. Originally had triple pack of the 3 Matrix films. A all-time classic from Schwarzenegger, Total Recall. Love this film. Next, we have something that was a gift, though I've only watched it once because it's not a good film. Legion. Next, we go to a more recent film, which I actually enjoyed thoroughly. Tom Hardy as Capone. Next, we have Underworld: Rise of the Lycan, which was the first Blu-ray I ever owned. And actually, it's pretty much neck and neck with the first one and being my favorite. Of course, I just recently did a review for Annabelle Creation. Next up, we have a great suspense film, of course, involving James McAvoy and M. Night Shyamalan, Split. Then the sequel, Glass, which I love this film. Definitely enjoyed it more than some people out there. But that's way with quite a few things for me. A all-time favorite Wes Craven film from the 90s. I Know What You Did Last Summer, with actually some really good music artists I was introduced to through this movie, such as Typo Negative. Next, the classic original Alien, an all-time classic. Also, from the same director, which I really enjoyed, Prometheus. And the last film, sadly, in this series, and and now it's probably going to get a reboot, unfortunately, Alien Covenant, which I thought was really solid. Next, another all-time classic action film, Highlander. If you like good suspense films, you'll really enjoy this. An all-star cast, The Departed. It, the first part of the remake, and It Chapter 2. Next, in my opinion, my personal, probably favorite Mel Gibson movie of all time, The Patriot. Next, a really good time period piece horror film. Even though it's not really that scary, it's a great time period piece, The Witch. Next, we quickly get into some video game stuff. Resident Evil. Silent Hill. Silent Hill Revelation. Resident Evil Vendetta. An all-time classic, Gladiator. And in my opinion, the best indie sci-fi film I have ever seen, Ex Machina. And last but not least, the Ultimate Matrix Collection, which includes all the films, as well as the Animatrix, and a special bonus thing. In total, you get something like over 10 hours of behind-the-scenes footage in this collection. It's a great thing for any major Matrix fan. This is definitely something to get. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time for part 3 and the final part where I look at TV shows. See you next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.